When you're watching professional badminton, it's rare to see a game where the commentators don't mention the drift. The drift makes a huge difference in badminton, where the margins are so small that a shot that could be going out could drift well inside the line and vice versa. Badminton is a sport that has great emphasis on maintaining control over the shuttle. However, with drift, it then introduces an additional element of unpredictability and change to the game. So what causes the drift in these tournaments? Well, the big difference is how big the venues are. In badminton, the shuttle is such a light object that its flight can easily be changed by an air current. There is always air conditioning in these large venues, causing airflows in certain directions. You have to remember these big venues aren't all designed specifically for badminton, so those things might not have been taken into much consideration when they were built. Therefore, there isn't that much they can do, since the air conditioning has to be on, especially in warmer countries in Asia. Not only that, but with the fans watching, there are openings in and out of the badminton hall, with the various entrances that they have. And this creates a large amount of air that rushes in and adds a strong airflow into the arena. I've been to the All England multiple times, and it's something that you can really feel when you go in and out. On a forum, Badminton Insight, who obviously play at these tournaments, said this: the Singapore Open is notoriously the worst hall for the drift. On one side, a lift would barely go to the double service line, and the other, it would go into the carpet onto the back of the court. It was crazy. And that's with putting equal power into both lifts. So definitely a difference of over 1 metre in many halls. You can also see drift in many arenas too. Over 1 metre is insane, and then when you switch ends, it's the complete opposite. It's almost not even who is the best player or pair wins, it's whoever can deal with the conditions the best. And it's also not fun to watch. You know that there are shots that are being affected by the conditions, and it also makes players play in a different way. You can't try and play lots of deep clears to the back when there is a metre drift behind you. A lot of players like to hit into the drift, so their shots aren't going out the back. It's easier to hit the shuttle a bit harder and not risk it going out the back than try to hit shots a lot softer. The thing is, it's not even like players can prepare for it either, since you can't replicate the conditions at a normal badminton hall, which is a lot smaller. And with the drift, it's not always like it's going front and back. It often goes across the court too, pushing the shuttle left to right or right to left. You can even sometimes see the bend in the direction it is going. Watching the Singapore Open this year, it looked like the far side was where the drift was pushing the shuttle to. There were a lot more shots going at the back that side, and even the commentator mentioned it when I was watching. He advised the pair to play with more drop shots rather than lifts. It must make it incredibly hard and frustrating for players who are so good but aren't used to the drift being a big factor. It's why players with more experience can usually perform better, because they can adapt their game faster to the conditions. I once played in a hall where there was a big air conditioning fan at one end of the sports hall, and the drift was really bad. It just felt horrible. There are certain things that tournament organisers try to do to counter the drift. For example, making sure the entrances are shut as much as possible, and reducing the aircon when possible. But there just isn't that much that can be done. It's just something that the players need to try and adapt to as best as possible. But I think that would be pretty cool. There was a specific badminton venue built somewhere where tournaments could be played in throughout the year. For example, the BWF Championships. It would obviously mean it would be in the same country, but by it being in a specific venue designed for badminton, they could make it in a way that completely reduces the amount of drift. And I'm sure other improvements, like the camera placements and quality, like I mentioned in the last video. It's one of the biggest problems for professional tournament badminton. I just hope that it can be continued to be minimised as much as possible. Some of the worst venues shouldn't be played at, in my opinion, if they can't improve it. Over 1 metre drift is ridiculous. What do you guys think? Drop a comment below. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.